Very good time, Matt. Any trouble?
No, not a bit.
Horses don't look too tired either. Well, I guess you know your business all right. As far as I'm concerned, the job's yours.
Well, thanks, Mr. Richards. It's a good job, and I can use it.
Come on in the office, and I'll give you an advance on your wages.
Fine, I can use that, too.
There's $40, Matt.
Thank you.
Man's got to eat well if he's going to bounce around on one of those rough stages all day.
That's right.
Why don't you drop around to the saloon tonight? I'll introduce you to some of the boys.
Maybe I will.
Good.
I check.
I'll bet 60.
I'll call that.
Beats me.
3 cowboys.
Never seen such cards as I've been getting. Al, bring in a fresh deck. $50 more.
I call.
Beats me.
Call that 50. And raise 50.
See that raise? $200 on top of it.
You just lost me. I hate to drop out of a pot that size, but I know I'm beat.
Well, I've got to call you, Clark. I don't know whether I've got that much money or not. 40, 60, 80, 84, 85, $87. I'll call that much of it.
Good enough. Straight club flush to the jack.
Now, that beats me. All I've got's full house. Wait a minute, Mr. Clark. I had 3 tens in my hand. One of them is the 10 of clubs. Just exactly like this 10 of clubs in your straight club flush.
You've been winning a lot of pus tonight, Boone. And I guess we know now how you did it. But this time it backfired.
Just a minute now. All I know is there's an extra 10 of clubs in this deck. And I didn't put it in.
You accusing me of doing it?
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm a stranger in this town. I'm a peace-loving man, and I'm not looking for trouble. Nor I'm not running away from it either. Now, why don't you and me split this pot, and we'll ask no more questions.
I ain't splitting anything with any cheating tin horn.
Flo, don't go shooting anybody over a card game. Split the pot and we'll break it up for the night.
Stay out of this, Farley. As I said, I'm taking this pot. I want it.
Just a minute now. Don't get in a hurry. Either we're gonna split this pot, or I'm gonna take it.
I warned you.
He drew first. You all saw him do it, didn't you?
Well, I saw it. And it was a fair fight, Matt.
Yes, but this tin horn gunslinger made him draw first.
Sure did.
Don't come any closer, any of you. Because I don't want to have to shoot anybody else.
Why don't we string him up?
What do you say, boys? He can't get all of us. He can't get all of
But
us.
I can get some of you. Who wants to be the first one?
All right, mister, put that gun away. You're under arrest.
No, thanks, Sheriff. I haven't been in this town long, but I've been here long enough to know that I can't buck Bull Clark dead or alive. Now move back out of the way. I'm leaving.
Give me that gun. You'll get a fair trial.
Yeah, I'll get a fair trial, all right, unless I happen to get lynched first. You got a fine town here. All right, Sheriff, move back out of the way. I'm leaving.
All right, boys, let's go.
You're all deputized men. Get him.
Looks like he got away all right.
Good. I don't know how you feel about it, but as far as I'm concerned, Bull Clark got exactly what he deserved.
Sure he did. There was a man who couldn't stand to lose. Even if he was playing for pennies, he'd cheat to win and then bluff his way out of it. This time, he just tried it on the wrong man, that's all.
You know, Matt Boone is as innocent as you or I. But now he'll be an outlaw for the rest of his life. Kathy Clark will never rest until she sees him on the end of a rope.
I know that. You know something else, Farley? He was right about us. This sure is a fine town.
Oh, it's no worse than any other Western trail town.
That's right. Other towns have the same problems. Dodge City, Abilene, Laredo, but they solved it.
But how'd they do it? They hired a bunch of professional gunslingers and pinned a badge on them. But what are we going to do? I'm not about to be crusading for anything.
That's the trouble with all of us in this town. We've got to do something about it, Farley, before it's too late.
It's too late already. If you know the right people in Waco, you can commit murder any time you want to and be acquitted by a paid jury, or a scared one.
Well, the trail has got to lead somewhere. Let's go.
Looking for something, amigo?
Yeah. Right now, I'm looking for a match.
You got no food to cook in the fire, so why light one?
Just to keep warm. Do you mind?
No, I don't mind.
Well, are you going to use that thing or not?
I should. And maybe I will. I better let the boss decide. Just soft-hearted, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you are.
You got a sense of humor. Good. You'll need it. And buckle that gun belt. Saddle him. All right, Pedro.
Where are we going?
For a ride. Mount up. You go first, Pedro. Follow him. All right, amigo. Inside. He found the South Trail. He was camped right in the middle of it, trying to light a fire without matches.
Who are you?
Matt Boone. Who are you?
That's a fair question. My name is John Ivers. I'm known to some by the nickname of Curly, a remnant of my youth.
Yes, I've heard of you.
Well, I imagine you have. And also of the $15,000 reward for my capture, alive or otherwise. Where are you from, Boone?
Well, I'm from Waco, Weatherford, Jacksboro, Graham, and several other places. I left every one of them in front of a posse.
Senor Garcia doesn't believe you. And I don't blame him. If you're as desperate as all that, it isn't logical that you could have found our South Trail.
Well, I accidentally stumbled on it. And just in time, too.
Others have stumbled upon it from time to time, but only after careful searching. Ah, my friend Pedro, you have something to report. Pedro tells me that your horse carries the B-Bar-C brand. Both you and Bull Clark should have had better sense, my friend.
What are you talking about?
Please, Boone. Bull Clark has controlled the law in Waco ever since I can remember. And if you're riding one of his horses, you work for him. And if you work for him, you... All right, Lou.
I killed Bull Clark 3 weeks ago. That's the reason for all the posses. And as far as the horse is concerned, well, I was in a hurry and just grabbed the first one I came to.
You killed Bull Clark? How?
With that gun right there.
I don't mean that. Did you draw against him? You're lying.
One moment. There aren't any notches on this gun.
That's right.
How many men do you figure you've killed altogether?
1, Bull Clark.
He's got quite a reputation with a gun. As a matter of fact, he once outdrew Lou Garcia. Poor Lou spent a lot of time in the hospital, then in jail, until we rescued him.
Forget it, Curly. He's just stalling. If I couldn't beat Bull Clark, nobody could.
That's just what I was thinking, Lou. But we mustn't be too hasty.
Well, it's easy enough to find out. Just send a man into Waco.
Al, you've never been to Waco, have you?
No?
Take the South Trail. It'll bring you out into a valley. Find the wagon road and follow it due west. But wait a minute. Just in case that you have set up some kind of a trap, how do you feel about testing your speed against Lou here?
What have I got to lose?
Only your life, amigo.
Well, I'd lose that anyway, even if I did kill you first.
There'll be no killing now, Boone. Put it on. Take 6 paces back. When I tell you, draw and fire. Lou, you take the can to the left. Don't try anything foolhardy, Boone.
If I beat him, you'll send one of your men into Waco to check on me. Is that it?
Yes. You're telling the truth. You may live forever.
I see. And if I don't beat him? All right, let's go.
All right. Ready? Now. All right, Al. How did you kill only one man with a draw like that?
I don't like killing. I figured if I got fast enough that the other fellow wouldn't try to draw. That's the way it's always worked out until I met Clark.
I'll keep your gun until Al gets back. Find yourself an empty bunk. That's the way it always happens. At least it doesn't say dead or alive. Yet. Where are you going?
Must be another trail out of here, isn't there, Curly?
There is. But you're still in Texas when you come out.
And I'm wanted in Texas.
That's right, you are. It's a big place, but not big enough when you're wanted. I know. Matt, if you'd like to, stay here with us. We can use you.
Well, there's not much choice the way I look at it. And if I'm going to be hunted, I might as well have company.
That's why we're all here. There's no quitting once you start, you know.
Seems to me I've already started.
Are there any objections?
Welcome, amigo. We'll find plenty of use for that gun of yours.
We don't do any killing unless we have to. But sometimes we have to. Well, Matt, looks like you're moving up in class.
Yeah. They raised the ante again, too. I guess they'll keep on raising it until somebody gets lucky and collects.
That's the way it is with all of us. It all starts out so innocently, too, like it did with you. A simple, friendly little card game. Then somebody cheats. Somebody shoots. For the rest of your life, you're running away.
Is that how it started with you, Curly?
Yes, it was, Matt. Quite similar. A little over 12 years ago, I killed a man in self-defense. Then I had to kill another man to escape being hung. But you see, I'm still alive. I imagine I'm good for a few more years anyway.
Sure you are. You're just a regular old gray fox, Curly.
I guess I am at that. You will be, too. You've got a good start.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Oh, how do you do?
My name is Arthur Sturdivant. I'm from Kansas City. I own a wholesale meat business there.
Well, it's nice meeting you, Mr. Sturdivant. Won't you come in?
Oh, thank you.
I'm Barnes, Vice President.
Well, glad to know you, Mr. Barnes.
Won't you be seated? Well, something we can do for you?
Well, as a matter of fact, there is. Has there been a Senor Manuel Gomez in here asking for me today?
No. No, I don't believe I know him.
I don't know him either. He's a big cattleman from south of the Rio Grande, Sonora, I think. Well, he made a deal to sell me $10,000 worth of beef. Said I should meet him here. But I might have known he'd be late. Probably be mañana. Well, I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Barnes, but do you mind keeping this cash for me? I'll open an account with you if you like. Probably be doing a lot of business with this Gomez.
Well, it's just about closing time, but I'd be glad to handle your account, Mr. Sturdivant. You'll just fill these out. I'll put this in the safe.
Fine, I appreciate that.
Sorry, mister, the bank's closed.
Don't make a sound. Back up.
I am Senor Manuel Gomez. Are you Mr. Sturdivant?
Yes, I'm Sturdivant. Senor? Keep talking until I get him away from that open safe. How are you?
Fine. I'm a very busy man, senor. Let us get on with the transaction.
Oh, of course. Mr. Barnes, would you mind bringing me that cash, please?
I'll be glad to, Mr. Sturdivant.
Don't do it, Mr. Barnes.
Don't move, anybody. And you won't get hurt.
What are you staring at me for?
I know who you are. You're Lou Garcia.
Trigger-happy fool. Get the stuff out of the safe.
What's wrong in there? Barnes, open up. This is the sheriff.
All right, boys, the back door. Hurry!
That's That's Matt Boone.
Is he gonna pull through, Doc? Sure, he's got the constitution of an ox. He'll have a slight limp for a while, but he'll hang just as good with it. He sure will. He's starting to come to. I'll help him out. Boone, you're dying. You've only got a few minutes left. Tell us who else is in the gang besides you and Garcia and Curly Ivers. You're hurt bad, mister. Why don't you tell the sheriff what he wants to know? That way you can go out with a clear conscience.
It's clear enough right now.
Look, if you pull through, I'll see you get life instead of the rope.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll bet you will.
Well, there's one outlaw that's just as tough as he's supposed to be. I wonder how they get that way. Well, it's legal enough, all right, but I don't know why you're going to all this trouble. You can only die once, and we can hang him just as cheap here as you can in McLennan County.
Well, it's settled then. Here's a check for the reward.
Thanks. You sure must want him pretty bad.
We do.
Hello, Matt.
Mr. Richards?
We're taking you back to Waco. You'll get a fair trial there.
Yeah.
You don't understand, Matt. We're going to...
I understand, all right. Let's get it over with.
The court of McLennan County, Texas is now in session. The first case of the city of Waco versus Matthew Boone, charged with homicide. Bring in the accused. Place your right hand on this Bible. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Your name?
Matthew Boone.
We'll dispense with the prisoner's testimony until after we've heard from all the witnesses. Sit down. Our first witness is William Richards. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Take the stand. Now, tell the court what happened.
Your Honor, I was in the poker game the night of the killing. This man, Bull Clark...
And that's about all there is to it, Your Honor. I was in the game and I know. It happened exactly the way Will Richards said it did.
You're excused.
That's a lie. I saw him shoot Bull Clark down in cold blood.
You've already said that when you were up here on the witness stand, Wallace. If you've got anything to add to your testimony, come up here and do it. Otherwise, shut up and sit down. Well, that's that. Any more witnesses? How about you, Boone? Do you want to add anything?
No, Your Honor.
Would you gentlemen of the jury like to retire to the other room, or have you already reached your verdict? Seems to me you should have.
We've reached a verdict, Your Honor.
Will the prisoner please stand up and face the jury? What's your verdict?
We, the jury, find the accused not guilty.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, gentlemen, I certainly appreciate it, but I'm afraid it's impossible.
No, it's not, Matt. We need you in Waco. Our last sheriff was killed. This town is getting bigger and more dangerous all the time.
Yes, but what makes you think it'll be any less dangerous with me in it, especially as the sheriff?
Waco needs cleaning up. You can do it. You're the fastest man with a gun in the county, possibly the entire state.
Oh, I see. It's my guns you want to hire.
Not exactly. We're hiring you, but we don't intend to control you. The pay is good, and you'll get a bonus for every known killer or outlaw that you arrest.
You mean kill, not arrest, don't you? You know, I have a lot of friends who are outlaws.
Yeah, we know. Just keep them away from Waco. Listen, Matt, this is your chance to get on the right side of the law and stay there. You'd be joining a pretty fine group of men, you know. Some of the best lawmen of the West were formerly outlaws.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to think it over.
I'm sorry, Matt. You'll have to make a decision right now. My friends and I have gone to a lot of trouble and expense to get you a trial in Waco. You're a free man here, but you're not in Limestone County. They would like to try you for armed robbery. So would several other places.
Oh, I see. You're not really giving me a choice, are you?
No, I'm afraid we're not. You won't be sorry, Matt.
Doesn't really matter whether I am or not, does it?
What do you have, Matt?
Oh, I'll have some whiskey.
Good evening, Sheriff. How's things?
Oh, everything's just fine. Nice and quiet.
Good. I hope they stay that way.
You have a drink?
Don't mind if I do. That's the B-Bar cigarette fit. In town for the usual Saturday night romp. Sometimes they get pretty rough.
Is that a part of Waco's lawless element?
You're the sheriff. You decide. Oh, there's one more thing, Matt, you might like to know. The boss of that outfit is named Kathy Clark. Bull Clark's daughter. Here she comes.
Well, here we are again, boys. First round's on the Clark Ranch.
Good evening, Kathy.
So the big gunman's still in town. That's your second mistake, mister. The first was when you killed my father.
Now, just a minute, Miss Clark.
You've got no yellow judge and jury to acquit you now. And all the lying testimony in the world won't help you. Get him! You, a sheriff?
That's right. Now, you'd better tell your boys to get out of here because I'm sure you don't want them trading lead with the law.
So that's what the trial was all about. They needed a sheriff and they got a dirty, rotten killer.
All right, go on. Get out of here. Hurry up. And don't come back until you can behave yourselves. I'll just keep this, Miss Clark, until you calm down. Good night.
Hello, Sheriff.
Hello, Al. You all right?
Can't complain.
How's Curly and the boys?
Good. Curly wants to see you. He's waiting in the gully just north of town.
All right. Tell him I'll be out there in about an hour.
So that's it, huh? They gave you some guns, a badge, and made you a sheriff.
Yep.
What do you think of it?
Well, I don't know, Curly. I really don't.
I think you do, Matt. And I want to tell you this. It's fine with me.
Great with me, too, Matt. We've always wanted a nice, prosperous little city we could call our own. And now we have one all sewed up. The sheriff is working for us.
I don't think you understand it all, Lou.
What do you mean I don't understand? This whole setup is made to order for us.
No, I'm afraid not, Lou. You see, I can't be on both sides of the law at the same time. I'm not built that way.
What are you talking about?
Well, look at it this way. Suppose every lawman was honest. Well, then people like Curly and Al and you and me, maybe we wouldn't have turned outlaw.
You're loco. No lawman ever drove me into it. It was my own idea. And I'd do it again.
Yes, I believe you would, but I wouldn't. You see, it isn't often that a man gets a second chance in life as I have, and I intend to take it.
Just a minute. You can't get away with it.
Save your breath, Lou. I know what he means. I don't think it's going to work, Matt, but it's worth trying. I'll do all I can to help you.
Do you mean that, Curly?
I do. We'll stay away from you.
Thanks.
Curly, you're loco, too.
I don't expect you to understand, Lou, but as long as you're with me, I do expect obedience. Stay clear of Waco. That goes for everybody else, too.
Sheriff, that.
Good luck.
Thanks, Al. Same for you.
So long, Matt. Just remember this. A real lawman has just as lonely a life as an outlaw does. He's either feared or hated, just as we are. You realize that, don't you?
Yes, I know that. Old Gray Fox. Thanks.
All right, I'll call you. 4 jacks. This jack was my discard.
I'll handle this. You must be mistaken, friend. If I were you, I'd think it over. Perhaps the jack was in the other hand.
You're lying and you know it. Well, this time you're not going to get away with it, mister.
Stay right where you are. Everybody.
Cash these, friend. We'll be on our way.
Who did it? Come on, men, speak up. Who did it? Who are you?
Crawford is my name, Sheriff. Something I can do for you?
Yes, sir. Can you tell me who shot that man?
Sorry. No.
This gun has just been fired. You're under arrest.
On what charges, Sheriff?
Suspicion of murder.
You gotta have witnesses, haven't you, Sheriff?
Not for suspicion.
Pardon me for saying this, Sheriff, but you're gonna look awful silly in court trying to prove a murder with no witnesses identifying me.
Well, somebody must have seen it. What's the matter with you men? Speak up. What's your name?
Smith, what's yours?
Don't get smart. What's your name?
Logan, Ace Logan. What are you going to do about it?
Oh, so that's it. You're Ace Logan from Valverde. Well, I don't blame you men for keeping quiet. This man is a killer. And most of you men have families. But you don't need to worry from here on out because Mr. Logan is leaving town.
Who says so?
I do. Logan, you've got exactly 1 hour. I don't want to kill you, but I will. If you're here at 20 minutes after 1.
I'll be here.
So will I. Let's go. I'll send the coroner in.
All right.
All of you can stick around. I like an audience.
Logan, I never deliberately set out to kill any man before. I don't want to do it. Now leave those guns, lay right on that table, and walk out. All right, are there any witnesses who are willing to testify against Crawford?
I saw the whole thing, Sheriff. I'll testify.
Put those tools around in the back, boys.
He seems to be taking a simple hanging pretty hard for a man who's supposed to be as tough as they come.
Well, it's a hard thing taking a man's life, even if he does deserve to lose it. Matt has my sympathy.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. I'll say one thing, though. Crawford had a fair trial, and there were plenty of honest witnesses. It's a step in the right direction.
I'd say so. Now, maybe some of those gun-happy tin horns will drive past Waco without dropping in so often. First thing you know, a man will be able to go out walking evenings with his family.
Yes, Judge, that was the general idea.
And a good one, too, Richards. I just hope the governor agrees with us.
He will. Matt's record since he's been sheriff has certainly more than made up for his career as an outlaw. Say, if I was the governor, I'd deliver Matt's pardon in person with a brass band.
Mailing will be good enough. I sure wish it would get here, though. You know, it's been over a month since we wrote the governor for it.
Oh, don't be so impatient. Matt isn't.
Drop my bags off at the depot. I'll see you in a week or so.
What do you suppose she's up to? She tried to shoot him once, you know.
Oh, she's not the shooting kind. She's just a headstrong kid, that's all.
Miss Clark, can I help you?
Did you enjoy yourself this morning, Sheriff?
I'm doing the very best I can to enforce the law in this town. And if you will recall, the man they hanged this morning killed your foreman.
And saved you the trouble.
I can do without unkind remarks like that. If you have business with this office, please state it.
I will. I just wanted you to know I'm on my way to Austin to see the governor, an old friend of my family's. I imagine you can guess how that concerns you, Sheriff.
Yes, I can guess all right. You figure you can talk the governor out of my pardon.
I'll do more than that. You have two choices. Either stay here and enjoy yourself killing people until the governor sends some rangers after you, or get out.
You'd like to see that happen, wouldn't you? You'd like to see me start running again and continue to run the rest of my life.
Yes, I would. That way, at least I might have a chance to kill you myself someday.
We lost him, all right.
Wonder if Curly and the others made it.
Sure they did. We had the main posse after us, just like Curly figured we would. I bet they're home already.
You figure to wait here a couple hours and cross the valley after dark, huh?
Yeah. Some of them may be roaming around looking for us. Would you look at that now? Can you boys think of a better way to spend our spare time?
That's the Waco stage, Lou.
I know it is. Let's take it over.
Wait a minute. Curly said to stay clear of Matt's town.
What are you talking about? This ain't Matt's town, is it? I don't think we're even in his county.
Maybe not. But that stage come out of Waco.
Look, Al, I'm giving the orders. Now, are you gonna take them or not?
Okay, Lou, you're the boss. Step out, miss.
Well, well. Look at what we found.
Here, take what you want and let me go.
You must think I'm new at this. I've learned that most ladies riding on stagecoaches don't hide their money in their purses. They usually hide it somewhere else.
Don't, Miss Clark. That's Lou Garcia.
Listen, Lou!
He called you Miss Clark. Any relation to Bull Clark?
He was my father.
Unhitch one of the team. Miss Clark is coming with us.
That's not such a good idea, Lou.
I'll decide what's a good idea. I'm sure some of old Bull Clark's money will find itself into our hands before long. And while we wait for it, we'll have the pleasure of female company. Come along, Miss Clark.
Jake's dead.
Who did it? Did you see him?
No, their faces were covered, but one man had a black outfit on. And Sheriff.
Yeah?
Miss Clark, my passenger. They must have took her with him because she's gone and I come too.
You fellas better get him to the doctor right away.
I'll get a posse together, Matt.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Richard. I'd like to handle this alone.
Now, listen, there's no sense...
That's the way it's got to be. I know where Kathy Clark is.
Hello, Matt. We were expecting you.
Yes, I know. What's the idea?
I'm sorry, Matt. One of the boys disobeyed orders.
Well, I can guess who that was. You killed another man today, Lou. He was a friend of mine.
So?
So that's why I'm giving you a last warning. Stay out of my way. Because the next time I see you, I'm going to kill you.
The biggest mistake I ever made was not blowing your head off the first time I saw you. I won't make that mistake the next time.
There won't be a next time for you, amigo. You and I have ridden together for a long while. That's why I'm going to let you live. Now then, drop that gun belt and get out of here. Because if I have to look at that face of yours much longer, I'm going to pull this trigger. Go on, hurry up!
He'll never rest until he puts a bullet in your back, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Curly, I'm going to take Miss Clark back to Waco with me. I'll need to borrow a horse and saddle for her.
Why, of course, Matt. If I can get just one thing in return.
What's that?
Her solemn promise that she won't speak of this hiding place to anyone.
All right, I promise.
Thank you, miss.
I think she'll keep her word, Curly.
I do, too. All right, Al, saddle up a horse.
Sure, Curly.
Well, so long again, Curly.
Goodbye, Matt. You're doing fine. Keep it up.
So long, fellas.
Bye. So long,
Matt.
Thanks.
Glad to do it.
I learned a couple of things about you tonight, Sheriff. The first is you're not afraid of anybody.
Well, that's just acting. There are a lot of people I'm afraid of. Garcia, for instance, people like that.
Well, you don't show it. The second thing I learned is you're not a killer.
You know, I'm mighty glad you believe that. I've wanted you to.
I do. You could have killed that man tonight. It's not easy for me, Matt, to like a man who killed my father, even though it may have been in self-defense.
You know, I realize how tough it was for you to say something like that. And I'm mighty grateful to you.
I'm sorry about what I started out to do this afternoon. I'll never say anything to the governor about you unless it's to tell him what a good sheriff you are. Good night, Matt.
Good night, Kathy.
Wait here a moment. My name's Carmody, Sheriff. Texas Rangers. I want you to lock up a prisoner.
Sure, bring him in.
All right, inside. He's a pretty important prisoner, Sheriff. His name's Curly Ivers. Now, if you'll just sign this receipt for him, we'll be on our way. We have another member of his gang surrounded in the hills south of here. Ivers is wanted in 6 counties, including this one. So you might as well have the trial here. We'll send a man from the state's attorney's office down to prosecute. Oh, by the way, we brought a body in, too. It's outside.
He's only a kid, Matt.
Hello, Curly.
Hello, Matt.
You all right?
Of course. Just a bump.
How did they get you?
About the way you'd expect. Lou Garcia and his hair trigger got us in trouble again. They chased us all the way from Comanche. We picked up rangers and fresh horses on the way.
But the hideout, how did they get?
They followed us there, too. Al and me and Lou got out into the hills. Lou's still there. But he'll be in Waco. You can count on it, man.
What do you mean?
He knows that he can't get away from the rangers this time. He'll try for you. He told me that. I tried to stop him, but he slugged me. That's where I got this bump. Not from the rangers.
Matt, what are you doing?
I'm quitting.
Don't be a fool, boy. I'm all finished. I'm getting too old to keep running.
You heard what the ranger said. They're going to try you here. You don't believe I could hang you, do you, Curly?
Oh, what does it matter who hangs me, Matt? I'll be just as dead no matter what. Matt, listen. This is your town now. It's a good town, and you're a good sheriff. Don't throw it away.
So long, old-timer. Maybe I'll see you south of the border. That's where I'm heading, as soon as I get Garcia.
Matt, what about us?
Well, I'm sorry, Kathy. I'll never forget you. You'll help Curly get away, won't you? Where can I find Lou?
Oh, what do you want to bother with him for anyway?
For a lot of reasons. The main one is because he's a dirty, vicious killer, and the world would be better off without him.
Now, you see, you're still a lawman at heart, aren't you, Matt?
Where can I find him?
Where they're not looking for him. On the other side of town.
You'll leave, won't you, Curly?
Yes, Matt. Thank you.
Bye, Kathy.
You better go out, Miss Clark. I wouldn't want you to be a witness to my escape.
Curly, we shouldn't have let him go.
Now, don't you worry about it. He's coming back. I sent him the wrong way. When he gets through searching those hills for Garcia, it'll be dark. And that's when Garcia will slip through the ranges and into town, looking for Matt.
But how do you know it'll work out that way?
I know Garcia. If he didn't hate Matt so much, he could get clean away. And Matt, well, by the time it's dark, he will have figured the whole thing out and come busting back here. By that time, I'm hoping it'll all be over. Oh, go on. Well, well. Look who's here. Good evening.
Gray Fox. Thanks.
Pleasure, Sheriff. Put it back on, Matt.
Matt.
It's all right.
You'd better get that wound taken care of. Sheriff, I'll help you to the doc's office.
We'll make it all right. Take care of Curly, will you?
Sure. Kids playing in the street. You know, that's something I never expected to see again in Waco.
It's amazing how much difference one man can make in a town.
Well, looks like our sheriff has only got one real problem left. And this is one he'll never be able to shoot his way out of.